Hello. In this lesson, I'm going to discuss what a California marital settlement agreement is and the different issues it covers. There are a number of documents to prepare when going through a divorce. One of the most important elements of this process is the marital settlement agreement, also known as a property settlement agreement. This document or agreement specifically lays out each party's rights relating to property. It also addresses issues such as alimony, the division of assets and debts, child custody, and child support. Keep in mind that a marital settlement agreement is a legally binding document. Therefore, be certain that every issue relevant to your divorce is addressed within the agreement. So the first step in the process of creating a marital settlement agreement is a discussion with your partner or spouse regarding issues that need to be addressed by the agreement. So some things to consider is how are you going to divide your retirement accounts? How will quasi-community property be divided in addition to other community properties such as assets and debts? Keep in mind that when you acquired certain property will determine whether it is going to be categorized as community property, quasi-community property, or separate property. So for instance, if the property was obtained prior to marriage, it is considered to be separate property, and that separate property should be addressed in your MSA, such as all separate property acquired before marriage will remain that spouse's sole and separate property. Community property is going to include anything that was obtained during marriage, and quasi-community property refers to property acquired while living outside the state of California. So as previously addressed, you're going to want to list all issues such as issues of property and custody, how you're going to evaluate spouse support, etc. in your MSA. Now, if you are a standard or advanced account user, then we will prepare a spousal support guideline calculation for you. We'll also do one for child support. We'll do one in accordance with California state guidelines, and these calculations have been approved by the court as far as the source in which we use to run the calculations. Once you're done drafting your marital settlement agreement, you're going to want to have it notarized. But before you get it notarized, have it reviewed with independent legal counsel if you have questions whether or not it is fair and equitable, or so you fully understand what your legal rights and obligations are pursuant to that agreement. So once you're done with that, have the document notarized upon signing and make sure it is attached or incorporated into your final judgment. That way, if either party violates the agreement, they could go back to court and ask the court to enforce the agreement. If it is not incorporated into that final judgment, it will be treated like a contract, and issues arising from that contract will be addressed as a civil law matter. Now, keep in mind, as you must know, a divorce is a major life decision, so the terms of your marital settlement agreement will last for a number of years, so it's important to get it right the first time around. Though you can amend your MSA in the future, that's the last thing you're going to want to do once your divorce is entered. If you have any questions regarding your MSA, definitely reach out to us. We provide drafting services for our advanced course users. We'll draft that MSA for you and your spouse to review. But as always, consider reviewing the agreement with independent legal counsel. Please proceed to the next lesson.